recording. Okay, I just started the recording, so you'll be hearing my voice from one end, and then I'll be sharing my screen from the other end. So let me share my screen right now. So I'm sharing my laptop screen now. As of when I open my laptop, Solana could be seen. Yeah, as of when I open my laptop, Solana could be seen at 91.56, but currently the price is 91.97. It's almost hitting $92. So if you had still entered this market as of when I posted and made my chart, you should be on serious profit. In fact, I was speaking with Gilgal, yeah, the guy that I told you guys that he bought into the all four of the coins I mentioned. I was speaking with him this afternoon, and I'm trusting he will join us because I love the fact that he made the move. Solana is already hitting $92. That's the truth. It will hit $92 and it possibly would go beyond $92. Might even see Solana coming up to 100. Yes, okay. So what I want to do now is I'm fixing. If you notice, remember I gave us what's it called, entry points. So I want to be right now. I want to be fixing those entry points on my system, right? So okay. So let me edit this. Okay. So this is entry one. Entry one. And if you notice our entry one, I said it's going to be at what? I said it's going to be at $90 for our first entry. So that's our entry one is going to be at $90. So yeah, so that's that. So this is our first entry point. This is our first entry point now. Our second entry point is at $85. So let's look for $85. $85 is around here. Okay, from this point, just a little close to our entry one, right? So now let's see entry two. Entry two is at $85. So let me look for the perfect point to take it to. Hold on. Yes. Okay. It's 5 points. All right. So we can safely drop it here, right, and make it our entry two. Make it our entry two. See, our entry two is entry two, which is $85. Right. Yeah, so that's our entry two. I can change the color to color blue. Okay. This entry one. So this is our entry two. Entry two is $85, right? So now let's look for it. Entry three is $80. I remember. Okay, let me check for it again. See, Solana. Yeah, Solana 90, 85, 80. So those are our three entry points: $90, $85, and $80. So, and like I said, Gilga, we know who happens to be one of us. But when it was around 86 or so, can't remember. But I know. So we can start from this point. This will be our entry three. Right, this will be our perfect entry three. Okay. Okay. So entry three. What I want to do is I want to drop our entry point. Then I also want to drop our exit points. So this is entry 3, which entry 3 is fixed at $80, right? So even if market is to fall back to these points, I would likely buy. Although if you can see the current market price now, if you can see the current market price, this is the current market price. You can see it's already sitting at $92. Okay, let's change this color first to color. Yeah, let's see. Which color are we going to use? Are we going to use for this entry 3? Let's use green. Let's use green. Yes. So entry 1, our entry 2, and our entry 3 has been fixed, right? Right. This is our entry point. This is our 3 entry points. So if you had entered this market from here 3 days or 4 days ago, you would have already been serious profit. So let's say you had bought at $80, and right now is $92 right now. So that's right. Let's say you even bought at 90. If you remember very, very well, last night, while I was teaching, I told us that we saw the market. We saw that Solana was already at $90, right? We saw that Solana was $90 of yesterday night when we were teaching. I remember very vividly. And right now is what, $92. So even if you had bought last night, you would have been on 92. And I remember I was telling Esther is not here right now. I think I was the private chatter. I told her to chat me up after the class, but she failed to do that. Because I didn't she had chatted me up, I would have given her this entry. Yes, because yesterday night I mentioned that the market was still around 90, which means it's still in our safe zone for buying. So right now it's 92. So even if you had entered the market yesterday night after the class, today you wake up with profit of $2. That's if you bought 1 unit of Solana. If you do this kind of trade on futures, you'll be on a good profit, right? You'll be on a good profit. So I'm going to be locking everything here. Everything I've made here so far, I'm going to be locking them. Why am I locking them? So that next time I come, I would not need to start editing and editing again, right? So then let's look for our exit point. Let's see how crazy we are anticipating for this market. Let's see what we're anticipating from this market. So now I've fixed our entry points, right? So let's look for our exit points. Our exit point. The analysis I'm doing right now is just a simple analysis where I am just pointing out the entry point I have given us. Right, I'm not doing the historical stuff. If not, I would have drawn these lines backwards. Right, I'll draw it back in time to see where it's going to show. Now we can see that Solana is 92.10. It has already crossed that $92 threshold. So let's see our first exit point. All right. So according to my signal, the one I posted, our first target is $105. So that's our first target, $105, and which is where my cursor is currently, right? Yeah, you can see that here, right? 105, 105.10. So this is where our first exit point will be. So let me draw that line there. Let me draw that line. 105, 105, 105. Yes. So I'm going to be changing the color of our sellout. Why will I be changing the color of our sell, right? Our entry points and our exit points wouldn't necessarily have to be the same color. So for the exit point, I'm going to use color white. Or should I use, let me use blue. Does that work out for us? I think that works out for us. All right, let me use blue. Um, yeah, so that's our first exit point. So let me highlight that there. This is our first exit point. Exit one. We have too many exit points. We have too many exit points. So even if you buy currently that Solana is 90, okay, it has dropped down back to 91.47, right? So even if you buy currently and you watch it rise from 91 to 105, to be a good serious profit for you. So that's exit one. Exit one, we are selling off at 105, $105, right? 105. Yes, that's our exit. So I think I have to change the color of this. I don't change the color. Let me use yellow for that exit point. Just give me a minute. I'm still here. Oh, finally. Okay, so okay, let's just continue. I think my last issue has happened again. My last issue has started again. Hopefully it's gonna be fixed. Hopefully it's gonna be fixed. So yeah, so I've fixed our exit one. So let's look for our exit two. Our second exit point. Where is it? The second exit point is 115. 115, that's our second exit point. So where's 115? This is 115 right here. 115 for 8.20. So this is the next exit point we are going to have. So let's fix that up. 115. 115. 115. This exit 2. Right? That's exit 2. So fix it up. Exit 2. We are exiting at what? $115. So trust me, in the days to come, we all will be looking at these signals and we will be glad we partook of it. So my advice is the market is not far-fetched for you to enter, right? It's not far-fetched for you to enter. So these are exit 2. So imagine, let's do a quick math now. So imagine you bought Solana at $91 and sold at 105. That would be $14. That's if you bought one, or if you're buying one, just one. Imagine you're buying 2 of it, you're buying 3 of it, you're buying 10 of it, right? Dependent on your capital. So imagine you bought at 91 and sold out at 105. That'll be $14, whooping $14 profit, right? Meanwhile, the entry point is actually 90. So if you bought at 90 and you're selling at 105, you're making $15, right? And then if you're selling out at 115, if you're selling out at 115, you're making $25. If you're selling out at 115, you're making $25. Then the next entry point, that's if you just buy one Solana. So let's fix up our next exit point, which is 128. 128. This is our next exit point, right? 128.24. This should be our next exit point. So why are these moves necessary? This is just a serious money making, genuine money making platform that God has given us. I think, in the words of my best friend, he would always say crypto is heaven's approved blood money. That is the only blood money that God approved. It's funny, but then it's not far fetched. You're not working for it. You're not stressing necessarily for it. What you're just doing is to buy when you should buy and sell when you should sell. That's what you're doing. That's just all you're doing. Buy when you should buy and what sell when you should sell. So this is our exit three. That's our exit 3 point there. Whenever you meet this, if you come online, I think, oh, I'm only here with Sopro. Sopro, welcome. Whenever others get to see this, they will still partake of it. So exit 3, this is our exit 3, and our exit 3 is going to be standing at $128. $128. So that's our exit 3 there. So we are going to run this exit up onto the last exit point that I gave us. Yeah, we're going to be running it up onto the last exit point. Okay, so let me use my ruler now. So, wow, just give me a minute, please. I think my mouse is acting up a bit. Okay. Okay. Just give me a moment, please. All right. So let me look for my ruler. I'm coming. I'm still here. I'm still here with you guys. Okay. Let me choose this two here. Yeah, so I want to measure from the first entry point up onto where I've drawn. So if you're buying at 80, if you're buying at 80 and you're selling off at 128, you're buying at 80 and selling off at 128, that's 60%. As you can see right there, right? That's 60%, and that's a very serious stuff, right? That's a serious. That's about 45 or $48. That's even about $50, right? So let's say you buy at 80 and sell off at 128. That's $48. That's $48. So now let's look at our next exit point. Yes, let's look at our next exit point. Yeah. Okay. I think this is it, right? This was how my screen was looking. Yeah. Okay, so I think next exit point is 145. So our next exit point is 145, which you can see right here. Let's dig it at 145.02. So we'll write it all the way, yes, to this point. So this is our exit 4. So you can see that our entry points are more than our exit points, and it's always that way for the market. Why is it that way? Because we are anticipating that, yes, come what may. If you notice there's a gap here, I'm coming, let me draw that. Let me just write our exit 4, then I'll draw gap so you can see our exit 4. And our exit 4 is at 145. Our exit 4 is at 145, standing at $145, right? 145. Yeah, so that's our exit 4, right? So imagine buying at 80 and selling at 145. How much do you think will be the profit? Let's look at that. Let's see. This is our point of entry. We write it to 145. That will be 81%. 81% profit, which is going to give you $64 if you buy at 80 and see it rise all the way to 145. Right? Now I was saying that there's a gap. If you notice there's a gap, you see this from this movement. If you can see where my cursor is pointing at, okay, just give me a moment. Let me shrink this a bit here. So you can see this movement, right, from where my cursor is pointing at right now. All these places, all these sell-offs, all this bearish movement, that we are seeing, all this bearish movement we are seeing. If you notice, it has created a gap here. This gap must be filled up. All this whole gap here must be filled up. Like, let me see if I can. Yeah, let me just employ this tool. What I'm saying is, you see, from here to here necessarily must be filled up to the last all-time high. It has to be filled up. It's the rule of the market. If you notice, similar thing happened here. Similar thing happened here when we bought from here and bought up to this extent, right? If you notice, we created a gap. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me shrink this chart. Let me shrink this chart. So if we bought here and sold here, if you notice, we had a gap here. All these things were a gap, right? All these things were a gap. So that's why this movement necessarily had to happen. So if you can see, this whole movement from here has covered this gap. So now that this movement has covered this first gap and then created another gap, it naturally would tell you that this gap must also be what filled. Probably it will be filled, hit the last all-time high, bypass the last all-time high, then creating a new gap for a new sell-off, right? And then we'll also get onto that new sell-off. So these stores are all important, guys. So that's why we are very sure that, be it as it may, we don't know. It might take long, it might take short time, right? These things can happen anytime they choose to happen. So, but whether long, whether short time, we are very, very optimistic that it's going to happen. Okay. So let's drop our last the next exit point, which is 165. Our next exit point is at 165. So this is 165. Okay, permit me to increase this now. This is 165. So we are going to keep it at 165.07. This is our next exit point, 165.07. 165.07. Yeah. So 165.07. Yeah. So that's our exit 5. Now you might want to ask me, is this support and resistance? No, it's not support and resistance. These are just entry and exit points. Yes, these are just entry and exit points. But the if you check where the first entry is, which is 80, that place is a very strong support. Yes, it's a very strong support. Normally we trade from support to resistance, but sometimes we also trade beyond support and resistance and just trade what we know or feel the market is gonna do at the end of the day. So I'm not necessarily using the whole support and resistance rule on this one. So this is our exit 5. This is our exit 5. This is our exit 4. This is our exit 5. So yeah, I think I'll stop here and then I'll continue this drawing pretty much later on. This is already 6 minutes to 3. I have to go attend to something. But you get the whole point, right? You get the whole point. Now at 165, you already see that we have made, if we are to enter this market at $80, at 165, we are already more than 100%. Or rather, okay, almost there. We'll be almost there. We'll be at 84%. 84%. 84%. It should be 100% because I know 80. Sorry. It's 106%. If we are selling off at 165, we are selling at 106%, right? So you can see that we would have already made 100% as at 165. But the target, our ultimate target is 250, which is a very strong, I think the last all-time high, the major last all-time high was 250 something, but we want to peg it at 250 because whenever market is nearing the all-time highs, it starts acting up. Yes, it starts acting up. So so these are good buys. These are all serious good buys. If you're able to pick out these entries, especially from these 80 points, so you can see this is a very good support here. It's a very good support that we are having here. Why am I saying so? Market came down here, tested this point, went back up, came back all the way down, almost the same point as this last one, tested crossed it a bit. So you see the market, it's this base here, this base 1, 2, 3 has given off has given us a very strong. So likely, very much likely, we might see market either it just continues to bull from here, or it could still come down, probably come down back to 80 and then take off. Yes, it could still come down below 80. I don't want to push my entry point below 80, except I see a need to. Except I see a need to. Why I have to leave my entry point at 80 is because of the two last uh, um, support already that I'm seeing in the entire general market. And not just that, if you notice where my cursor is right now, this is an order block. And this order block was bordering around 70, let's see, from 70 to to 81, from 70 to 81. So that order block has just been there. So that this order block also gives me a very strong support for this current level. Even if market is to drop, probably might just drop, hit, consolidate at this very point, maybe around 72, and then it will still find its way back up, right? But I just want to leave that entry point, my first entry point at 80. Like I said, except I see a need to change that. Okay, yeah, that'll be all for now. That'll be all for now. So I think one of these days, yeah, sorry, forgive me. Is there one of the classes will be handling? I think when I'll be teaching support and resistance, I can show you guys how to draw up your support lines, where to pick your tools from, how to distinguish them. If you notice the same, I didn't use the same line for my exit point. I have to use a different colors, right? This is for distinction's sake. I just have to make sure that yes, you understand that this is exit, right? Because if I use the same colors, some person you might get confused along the way. The truth is, I have a class. I think I told you guys about my international class where my boss there, he at some point he asked me to teach those guys this trading view. Yeah, he asked me to teach those guys this trading view, but I've not been able to teach them. And for me, trust me, it's a bit deliberate. Yes, I feel I owe it to you guys for you guys to learn it first, right? How the whole trading view works. There are serious tools here. Beyond beyond these tools, if you notice, there's another. There are sets of stuff here. You can see this alarm notification. You can see this stream, so I can live stream this if I want to. You can see idea streams. You can see private chat. You can see public chat. You can see my ideas. You can see calendar, hot list, data window, news, alerts. So there's pretty much a lot of tools to be used on TradingView. TradingView is one of the best platforms for analysis, one of the best tools you can use for any analysis. Trust me. Yes. So this is where our 250 is. Yes, this is where our 250 entry is. This is the last all-time high, but this is where we'll keep our last exit. 250. 250. So that's where we're going to keep our last exit. Let me hear your thoughts in the group chat. So far, do you think this market will actually go according to these predictions, or do you think what do you think the market is going to do? Is the market going to probably give a false breakout? Probably you consider this a false breakout, and then you're saying it's going to come back down from this point. It's going to probably come back down to this point. Yes. If you're holding such views, let me know. Right? We are now. This is the access of Crypto 102. In Crypto 102, everybody at some point we just have to give their own views of the market, what they think the market is going to be looking like. If you notice right now, Solana is currently sitting at a price of 91.21. So it has dropped from 92 and has fallen back to 91. Now, if I was a trader and I bought at 90, If I was a trader and I bought at 90, I probably would have set my take profit at 92. Yes, it's scalping. It's scalping. But what I'm doing now is for this analysis, this drawing are for long-term hodling. Yes, this is analysis for long-term hodling beyond the trading. Because the truth is, if I'm to be a trader, I'll trade from 80 to 90, sell off, come back again when the market drops to 85. I'll buy again from 85 to 105, sell off, wait for it because that's what the market will not just go straight. Although it has happened before, you can see this point, right? You can see the market went straight, but if you notice, the market went straight, you can see this red candle here. It got to this point, it fell back. So if it was a trader will sell off here, come back and enter here and take this next run. Yes, that's how traders do. So there are a lot of things to learn, and we are just getting right into it, right? So thank you very much, guys. I think that will be all for now. We'll see you later in the evening. Let me go attend to other stuff that I have to. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much. See you in the evening.